disappear. Around 7 p.m., 6 men start to dig up the mound and its surrounding area. The police are alerted. Naked, bloated, and putrefying, the body of a young woman is removed from the muddy grave.
Ilmohitam, the practice of witchcraft to control or harm people. Then there are dukun, pawang, shaman. Dukun are the most common in island of Java, though the island of Madura is especially fearful, being very powerful practitioners of the dark magic. These are famous traditional spiritual healers and experts in the custom and traditions, masters of dark black magic. A man out of his breath, exhausted, shocked, worried, with all kind of mixed emotions, trying to talk to his community leaders, trying to let them understand, catch breath, ready to go back. Something is not right out there. Something was definitely wrong. And without wasting any time, a group of few responsibles were being assembled to follow him. In the dark, windy, stormy night, they all wanted to know what he was talking about. Walking through the green fields, uneven terrain for hours restlessly, and finally stopped by a sugarcane field. Marking points he made it earlier, few hours ago, for his people to investigate further and to let them see what is inside. But the rain has vanished all of his marking points, and everybody was waiting impatiently. Few minutes later, he screamed, "Over here!" Everybody rushed to him, and they stood like a statue for a few minutes as they were all trying to solve the mystery. One of them slowly moved towards the spot covered by the mud. He took a stick from the ground and poked the spot and realized man was not making up the story. In fact, he was telling the truth. Once they removed the bushes and cleared the spot, what they saw gave them the chills in their spines. It was a human head poking out of the ground, facing in one direction with wide open eyes, trying to understand the scenario, definitely shocked. For a moment, felt like their bodies have left their souls. In that dark, stormy night, one of them took the courage and with a stick cleared the head. If they know who she was, it was female, gray-colored, buried and staring to one specific direction as she was watching someone with a wide open eyes. So one of them ran back to the police station and informed the police. Immediately the police with the torches came out and reached to the crime scene. Now police arranged a squad to investigate on the earlier stage if they can recognize the victim from their small community. And it turned out it was the head of 21 years old Shuri Kamala Devi. News spread like a wildfire in that small community, and a 15 years old rickshaw puller came in front to help, telling the police. She came to me, asked me my services to take her to Datuk. Everyone started to look at each other and got scared. This is all I know. I didn't see where she was walking when I dropped her. I ran back home. Police only knew the last location of the 15 years old rickshaw puller, but they also knew now she was looking for Datuk nearby. So they found him. He was 45 years old, Suradji, who worked as a cattle breeder, and he was into Dukun. Police arranged a squad and reached to Suradji's location. They were all scared, but still they questioned him if he knew anything about Devi. He denied. Something was definitely off the grid and started to search his house. And they found Devi's purse and clothing. Suradji had 3 wives and 3 of them were sisters. They took them to the police station. They started to investigate. On the other hand, the investigators made Suradji to confess, and this is what he told. My father came into my dream. He asked me to eat slava of 72 women when they died. It was so clear vision, and it was a straight guideline to me from my father to become immortal and to gain those supernatural powers that no one could have in current time and would never be able to gain in later, then my instincts guided me to come up with a plan. I promised people to help them to come out of the poverty and give them never-ending beauty and make them forever young. I talked to my wives. We decided to secretly promote the scheme. Women wanted to attract men and wanted to make their men fall in love with them and never go to another woman. They decided to come to my place and have them first with the family matters with the help of my black magic. When they totally believed in me, then I asked them to come visit again on a specific night and timing, extremely secretly without telling anybody about their visit. And if they tell, the ritual won't work on them. When the darkness took over, also the moon was watching, I gave each one of them victim shovel in their hands and asked them to dig the ground in the sugarcane field. My wives were there to give my victim confidence, to help them to come out of the fear, to make them to believe in me, that this is not only a part of the ritual but also very safe. When they are buried up to their shoulders and their arms are pinned inside, they cannot move, me and my wife start to cover the rest of the bodies with the mud until they're totally stuck in the ground and they cannot move. And then I take a wire to strangulate each one of them until they're totally gone. When the investigator heard this, they were all panicked, and team of the investigators and the police officers rushed to the specific spot where Suradji indicated. They were all terrified to learn that every woman was sticking out of their head and facing to Suradji's house with wide open eyes. Trial began on 11th of December 1997. He was sentenced to death by firing squad. There were cheer from the large crowd in the courtroom as the verdict was read out. More than 100 had packed into the small courtroom, while as many followed the proceeding outside on the television screen. Suradji's wife, Tamini, was also sentenced to death for assisting him to murder the victims, but her sentence was later reduced to life in prison. During the trial, Suradji expressed and stated the method he used was in order to gain power, and why all of the victims were facing to his house. I believed in this way I would gain even more power. Suradji was executed on the 10th of July 2008 after a death warrant was issued that week prior.